very action-packed fight. I think Jamie showed that he's got a huge potential. He certainly had his moments. Showed that he had, very, very technically gifted boxer. Got caught by potentially already now the body punch of the year. And I think he's got a big future in the sport. And definitely I think we justified the certain people. There was only a few of them, but certain people who doubted him why we put him in the tournament. I think it showed that he definitely belongs at this level. That what George said before, I think, was completely accurate in retrospect. I think a little bit maybe the experience was maybe lacking at the stage, but he certainly gathered that now. He's been on the big stage, and I'm sure big fights will come his way very soon. In terms of George's performance, it's always exciting. Sometimes a little bit too exciting, but he certainly is a big stage fighter. He put on a show. He put on a masterclass. Superb body punch, counter punch to finish it. And obviously sets up one of the biggest fights in Britain in a time when there's many big fights in Britain, but I think one that, for me, does a little bit more than just use the word big fight, and I think you can really use the word mega fight. So we look forward to a great semi-final between George Rose and Chris Eubank. Thank you very much.
So George, that was a great finish there. How do you assess the performance as a whole?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and critique it properly with Shane, but I think I boxed really well, really well. Jamie obviously targeted the body early. I was taking the shots away from him. I was landing the counter shots, working the body well myself. Jamie, which I always felt I knew, had tremendous heart, lots of balls. He would walk through big shots that I was landing. So he was always dangerous. Certainly deserved to be at this level. We have fun and games in the build-up, and I put him down a little bit, but I knew that he was better than what I was saying. But I think I boxed tremendous tonight. As a whole, there's always room for improvement, and I am improving. But if anyone was doubting whether I was a flash in the pan world title win, I think they know now that I mean business.
And obviously looking forward to the Eubank Jr fight.
Yeah, this is Eubank Jr fight I've been looking forward to for quite a while. Now, I always knew that I had to get through the first round, but the way the draw was going to go, as long as he won and he was going to face him in the semi-finals, it's a fight that I'm very excited about. Eubank's improved over the years, but he hasn't boxed anyone on my level. And I know if I box like I do tonight, he doesn't stand a chance. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the fight fans out there now are excited about that fight that's coming. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
And Shane, was it the plan to target the body?
Yeah, I mean, George is, he doesn't really stop people to the body since we started working together. He's done quite a few people to the body, so he's got heavy hands. And we knew that Jamie was always going to force the action. He was going to lunge in, and our plan was to take our feet back and then bowl out the middle and work the tree.
And Jamie, obviously it's very close, and you haven't had time to look back on it. But how do you assess your performance? What could you or might you have liked to have done differently?
I thought George boxed very smart. I think the fight come out into me. I've seen George sapping a little bit, but he has a good brain, good boxing brain, and overstretched, and he picked a lovely shot out.
And what about John? From your point of view, is there anything Jamie could have done differently in there?
Look, for 10.5 weeks, I said, Jamie, you missed with the left hand. Georgie's reaction shot against the southpaw was the right uppercut. We spoke about it for 10.5 weeks. Jamie's failure is my failure. We both failed tonight, and Georgie's distance was fantastic. We knew the shot was coming, and he still landed it. And credit Joe, thought the kid boxed really, really well. I was still trying to get his head in the corner, say his shots. I was very impressed with his boxing tonight. He's a very, very good kid. He's got a very good boxing brain, and he's certainly better in the flesh. He's a good fighter. He's a damn good champion. Very good
The
champion.
nicest thing someone said about me for a long time.
Don't get too used to it.
I've been telling people that for years, you know.
Have we got any questions from the floor?
Jamie, were there things that surprised you in there during the fight?
Well, yeah, I knew George is strong. I expected more power. His power out could cope, but his boxing skill was better than I expected, and that's what surprised me. His skill was a lot better. Sometimes you don't have to be the strongest. You pick your shots and placing them, and he did that very well.
And George, was the final shot, was that something you'd actually been working on with Shane?
Yeah, I mean, we worked on a few shots, you know. But yeah, you know, if you see an opening, I'm a reaction fighter, so I'll work with what's in front of me. It's a shot that I drill on the pads with Shane a lot. I've been getting it off in sparring. So yeah, you know, sometimes you feel them go in, and you know that's going to have an effect. To be honest, I thought Jamie with a lot of body shots. I was expecting him. He was slowing a bit, but I thought, you know, this guy's fit. He's just going to keep coming. But that last one probably was just too crisp. You know, it was a nice slashing shot, came across the body. He said he was overstretching, so you know, there's no answer for that. You can't get up. So I'm happy that you know, obviously got the stoppage. I'm happy that it was a body shot, you know, and as I say, yeah, it's good ball.
Question for George. All the rumours around at the moment are saying you're going to be retiring next year.
I'm retiring next year.
Is there any plans to win this trophy then?
Well, I'm signed in for it, mate. I'll get paid a lot of money. I'd like to win it, you know. Minimum two more fights, and then we'll see what's next, won't we? You know, but I'm in great form. I'm enjoying my boxing. You know, keep winning, and I'll keep going. You know, the body's responding well. I'm not taking big shots. I'm enjoying myself with Shane, and so yeah, definitely no thoughts of retirement. I'm not counting down the days. As soon as you start doing that, I think it's time to give it up. But I've got some tasty fights coming up. You know, there's no reason to retire.
Jamie, if you had to pick a winner out of George and Eubank, who would you go for?
George has got a good brain. Very good brain, and he's capable with the power. He has the power of the boxing skill.
George Keller, do you know how soon we can expect a confirmation of that fight?
The fight is confirmed.
No,
He's
We're
signed,
going to look at the
sealed,
Stamford
and delivered.
Bridge fixture list, and the last weekend of January when they're away, Callum promised we were going to fight at Stamford Bridge.
George is currently discussing with Roman about that. We're looking at venues now. It's a tricky time of year. You know, I'm not sure whether Chelsea's too happy about us jumping on their
Chelsea's
pitch.
definitely going to happen, and Callum's going to make sure of it.
There's
But-
a knockout that week, it's the FA Cup. So
Yeah.
you know Chelsea will be playing.
Yeah, no. See, the good thing is
Callum's going to move the FA Cup fixture. He's going to watch us.
No, I mean, you know, it's a fight. I think it's a fight you can take to any stadium in the country. I think it's January, February. You know, it's obviously something that generally you would do indoors, but we quite fancy looking at outdoor venues as well. We'll look to put it in a place where we can try and make it accessible to as many people as possible. Unfortunately, in the UK, you don't have the biggest choice of indoor venues, so if it's outdoor, you know, do it for football. So, you know, it's a 10 o'clock fixed start time. It will be the same in the semi. So, you know, you're out of here by 11. I think, you know, if you go to a cup tie midweek, you know, penalties, and you're talking quarter to 11 as well. Yeah? It's, so, yeah. Weather's always a risk outdoors, but I've also I've done shows in Hamburg in July and sat in monsoon rain with a lot of you. So
Callum's going to
you'll
make
remember
sure
that.
it's sunny that day in London.
George, against Eubank, how critical is your experience of fighting at Wembley Stadium, big fights at the end, you know, the two front fights and that, they're a really big stage. You've been there and he hasn't quite been there yet.
Yeah, I mean, Eubank, to his credit, is a performer. You know, a performer first, fight second. You know, he's always aware of how he's being perceived. You know, so I think he will relish the big occasion. You know, he was desperate to fight me because he knows fighting me makes it a big fight. Whether it dawned on him later on that that's not as easy as it is to carry the pressure, and I have a lot of experience of that. So that would definitely sort of set me on the upper hand. But maybe it won't. Maybe he'll relish it. You know, but I've been there, done it. It doesn't. It's great. It's fun. But it's not unique to me, so I don't crave it, you know. I think he craves it, craves the fame, you know. But I'm here to fight, not to win.
George, you said at the weigh-in that you hoped that Jamie didn't run, but he did the opposite of that today. He came straight at you in the first round. Did that play into your strengths, and was that something that you had predicted beforehand?
Shane said to me before, expect him to sort of be aggressive, fast, early. We planned for that. Yeah, you know, you have two choices against me in many ways. I think when people prepare, they decide to try and tire me out by fiddling for a couple of rounds, or they decide to tire me out by trying to jump on me, because no one believes I can fight for the full 12 rounds. Either way, I know how to deal with that. I've showed that now with the level of opposition that I've had over the last 2 years with Shane. We weren't surprised. You know, it logically would make sense that Jamie would try and force the pace early, but you know, I'm a strong guy. As he says, I'm a clever fighter as well. So we use both those attributes to sort of nullify Jamie's attacks, find our range, find our shots, and then I knew it was only a matter of time because I was able to land those big shots.
George and Jamie, were either you two aware how many fights were actually breaking out in the audience tonight while you two were fighting?
Nothing to do with me, that.
Jamie, what's next for you? Obviously, you know, you perform badly. What's next in your career?
I don't know. I'm just going to have a little break. I've been training very, very hard for this fight, and a couple of weeks back, and then a couple of weeks rest, and then back in the gym.
You got no targets, anything, any aims of what you want to do? Building on obviously this platform. Anything else like other champions in the division?
But I sit down and speak with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing and go from there. It was a great fight. It was great to be part of this World Boxing Super Series. George Groves is a great world champion, and I relish the opportunities forthcoming.
George, how are you going to deal with the speed of Eubanks? Obviously, the way he fights in that, and recently as well, you know, he's not been touched on that. So how are you going to deal with no one fighting his speed with your power and your counter punching?
I'm quicker than Chris Eubank Jr. My hand speed is quick. I'm taller, longer. You know, I've just had a fight, so I haven't really been assessing Eubank too much. I haven't even seen his last fight, so probably be able to answer that a little bit better in a few weeks when the next press conference comes along. But yeah, I ain't so slow. You ain't got to worry about that.
All right. George, would you say you're a better all-round fighter since you fought Froch? And did you come away from those defeats stronger in a way?
Yeah, you know, I've said it before. My sort of previous campaign under a different trainer. The first fight with Froch was with Fitzpatrick, and I got progressively worse with working with him. I was going through a lot of different things at the time, and I was probably a bit ignorant because I wanted to prove that, you know, I'm a good fighter regardless. It got to the point where I lost against Valley Jack, as I said, and then I knew I needed to make a change. And since making that change, I don't have to try and explain to people. I think it's evident. You know, I've gone from strength to strength. I've become a world champion. Now successfully defended it. I am by far a much better fighter than I was for that first fight. You know, I'm older. I've got more experience. You know, I've got more rounds under my belt. But as I say, I'm working with a great team. You know, a winning team. I'm winning. I'm enjoying winning. I enjoy getting up in the morning and going to the gym. I've learned a lot, you know, emotionally and mentally from the losses, from picking myself up getting back in the gym, trying to get back, chasing that sort of that level that I felt I belonged to be at. You know, being a world champion. Since winning that belt with Shane, with Calla in May, all those pressures and all those weights just are gone now. You know, I just feel unstoppable. This tournament, as I said many times, come along for me at the perfect time. It's kept me focused. You know, I'm not resting on my laurels. I'm going to go strength to strength in this tournament. I'm happy to be through the first round. We're well under our way.
The next round, it's not actually that far off, so when will you be back in the gym?
I'm going to take a break. There won't be any Instagram posts of me doing 40 uppercuts saying I'm back in the gym 24/7. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a rest, because that's what athletes do when they prepare for real fights. So I'm going to have a little break. But you know, I'm not going to overdo it at the buffet or anything like that. I'll be in good shape come the start of camp, which wait for Calla to give us a date, and then away we go. You know, but I come out of the fight with no injuries, no aches or pains, no strains, so that's good. I had a little broken jaw after my last fight, so that took a little bit of time to get over, but I feel great. It won't be long before we're back in the gym.
Chris, you've been in with Paddy Jack, Froch, Santos, Jamie Cox, beat Chudinov. What sort of fight do you think Chris Eubank is going to bring come January, February?
No, he's a strong lad, physically strong, happy to let his hands go. But we'll see if he changes, if he has to conform, you know, because the bits that I've seen of him, he wraps his own hands, you know. Professionals have someone wrap their hands. His dad gets in the ring and stares at him, you know, and Chris is like, I can do it myself. So will he conform? Will he change? Will he decide, Joe, what, I've moved up another level. Dad, could you please give me some advice at the end of each round, you know, rather than just a bit of water? And if he starts doing that, how do I interpret that? Do I interpret that as a win? Has he had to change because he's actually made a step up? Is someone else going to wrap his hands? Is he going to bring in better sparring like welterweights? You know, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I think he's going to have to make an awful lot of changes in the build-up to his next fight against me to be able to compete with me. I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's going to be all action, very exciting. But if he boxes how he boxes, he stands no chance against me because, as Jamie will probably point out, I'm far too clever for that. So it'd be nice if he sticks to what he's doing, to be honest.
George, before tonight, you claimed that Jamie Cox is a middleweight at best. Has being in the ring with him tonight changed your opinion on that?
You know, Jamie's physically a really strong guy, happy to let his hands go. I did feel a lot bigger than him tonight. So only Jamie can answer that truthfully. But sometimes you have to chop and change for the opportunities. Is Chris Eubank Jr. really a middleweight? You know, it wasn't that long ago he's boxed the middle. There's not a chance on earth I could ever get close to the middleweight limit. You know, I'm a big super middleweight, and there's a couple of big super middleweights in the tournament still. Chris isn't one of them. You know, Jamie tonight, as I say, he'll have to answer that honestly. I felt bigger than him naturally. That's always going to be an advantage.
Jamie, a lot of people said that you found it hard to make the 168 pound limit. Is that true in any case, or?
I was light, weren't I? You on the scale, I was a pound under, weren't I? It's not a problem whatsoever. Like most professional athletes, have some downtime in between fights. Do put on a bit of body fat. It helps to keep away the colds, the illnesses, and then it gives you something to strive for when you get in the gym. But provided I'm given a date to fight with, which I've got, I always prepare and I always make the weight very comfortably. So yeah, no problems with the weights whatsoever.
Look at the tournament. You have to look at. We've got obviously two big super middleweights in Callum Smith and George. You've also got light heavies who've moved down, Brayman, for example. So you've got to look at it's a massive opportunity to go into this tournament. People, you know, even world champions, former world champions, make sacrifices to do it.
Jamie, you've been at super middleweight for a couple of years now. You quite happy at the weight?
Yeah, I have to work to make the weight, and I'm always in the gym. George is just a very big super middleweight. He must make the weight. Comfortable, you know. He works. Obviously, he's an athlete, but it must be more harder for him. I couldn't make middleweight. If I made middleweight, my performance wouldn't be good. So, do I do that? Try and make middleweight and look rubbish? I fight where I was comfortable. You know.
Just a question for Shane, just to echo something that was said earlier. How different is George Groves now compared to the George Groves that you first worked with when he came to a Wigan's gym?
Well, I mean, I think we've sharpened up a couple of his weaknesses and built on some of his strengths. He was a good fighter when he came in to work with me. He'd just forgotten a few things that he did well, and just kept ingraining it. Keep drilling him the right way, making sure that he's training the right way. And but he's also came to me with a lot of experience. You know, he's suffered some defeats. And he learned how to deal with it on the massive stage and occasion. So he's just becoming a more and more complete fighter. He's still got things to work on. We're still going to go back and analyse things and make sure we're improving. And that's part of boxing. You never stop learning.
Quick message, Jamie. You lost the battle, you lost war, mate.
No, I've never been down for my body shot in my life. I'm down on the floor for my body shot in my life. So, full credit to George. It must be a good one.
Okay, I think. Okay. No. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Maybe with a round.